Salutations and a warm welcome to my channel. I'm Clementine, and today I'm serving an in-depth dive into the culinary cuisine from my latest Worldbuilding project. This particular video is going to cover cheese, known as Sharbes within these lands. The desert is a harsh land, with the province of Yadharqouk our focus being one of the most lush environments within it. Within the lush canyons Ikran, Hulet and El Melak, against the red sandstone rock, we found a great many flora and fauna, making this province prime for a thriving cheese-making industry, with exporting a large amount of this cheese to the rest of Sembar and beyond. With cheese holding a significant place in the culinary landscape of Sembar, catering to the taste of the rich, the poor, and even the nomadic tribes. It is not only a dietary staple, but a cultural emblem with deep-rooted historical claims. Local scholars proudly assert that Sembar was the birthplace of cheesemaking, while to the north, legends suggest that giants passed down their mammoth cheese-making knowledge. In this unforgiving desert environment, traditional cattle farming is not feasible for most. As a result, cheese production primarily relies on goats, camels, and a range of nuts, with the nomadic groups being one of the very few being able to create cattle-based cheeses. This is not to say some households don't make their own, but it's rare to see this hit the market. Goats thrive in the mountainous terrain of the province, making many cheese farms becoming situated in high elevations. Known for its creamy texture and slightly tangy flavour, goat cheese is a culinary delight. Its prevalence in high elevations lends to a unique richness, making it a staple in many households. Camel cheese isn't often found in markets, however it's a staple of homeland cheeses, with many households owning a camel, letting them to make their own cheese. It is also very common within the outlying settlements, where travel and trade is slow. With a dense texture and a hint of earthiness, it's a cherished delicacy among those living in the outlying settlements, often served as a symbol of hospitality to offer to some honoured guests. Cattle tend to require a lot more grazing than one settled community can provide, often resulting in the nomadic tribes being the few groups who can domesticate and herd them. It is rare to see cattle-based milk outside of these tribes. However, a few tribes sell their cheese off to city folks for supplies. Thanks to its robust and earthy flavour, it is a prized commodity among city folk. The most distinctive amongst these is the variety of nut-based cheeses, which, though not considered traditional cheeses in many regions, is cherished as a culinary treasure in Yadharqouk. Typically, these cheeses are made out of pistachios or almonds. However, other nuts are also used. While not as popular and accessible as goat's cheese, it is one of the second largest found in the markets, with some preferring the rich, nutty undertone that sets them apart from the more traditional varieties. Cellar Pots. Within the cellars of these artisans, you would find beautiful handcrafted pottery used in the maturing and storing of cheese. These pots tend to be short and wide, almost like a serving dish, covered in intricate paintings or patterns. Poorer families tend to decor their pots less until they can save enough for more impressive ones, with these decorated pots being handed down as heirlooms. This decor often reflects a company's image or a personal tale. These pots tend to create a softer type of cheese, with a very smooth interior. Nomad Pots. Semi-nomadic groups age cheese in clay pots buried in the earth of their temporary campsites. These pots, unlike the Donhuid's ones, tend to be tall, almost vase-like, as well as being thicker and lacking much decor. They are left in the earth for great periods of time, leading to a harder and more earth-toned cheese. After the long wait, they are shattered to release the internal cheese. The cheese, however, is also protected with a cloth bag, so if the pot breaks whilst buried, it will last until it has matured into a hardened state. The Nomad Pots have been incorporated into many companies within the cities, providing a more mature cheese to the populace. Goat Bladder. While the semi-nomadic have their pots, the fully nomadic don't have this luxury, so to work around this, they use the bladders of goats. This cheese undergoes fermentation and is stored within the goat's bladder. These bags are slung over the shoulders, or on the sides of their beasts, as they traverse across the desert. This produces a distinctive young cheese akin to feta. However, very small amounts of this cheese is ever made on account of the tribe's lightweight lifestyle. multiple companies have made up the market-holding cheese. There are many small local cheesemakers. Over a handful of companies handle larger amounts within the capital, as well as the export and import of cheese. The first of our cheese companies is Yadhar Bosh. This is a large cheese-making and trading company found within the province. They cover a wide range of cheeses from goat to pistachio, as well as some fruit-infused cheeses. While they aren't exclusively a cheese trading company, it makes up one of their largest exports, apart from their alcohols. Milhaln Family. One exceptional variation of Sembar cheese is the date-infused variety, which has its roots tied to the renowned cheesemaker Abelak Milhaln. He was a blind man with a special artisanal talent, with his cheese perfectly balanced flavors, texture, and maturity. His family has faithfully carried through this tradition, creating a cheese known for its delightful sweetness. This cherished cheese, enriched with the flavors of dates, is affectionately referred to as Brunel cheese, or Milhaln Sharbes in the tongue of the land. The influence of Brunel cheese extends beyond the culinary domain, seeping into religious rituals practiced in Sembar. The Milhaln family remains the top producer of fruit-infused cheeses. In their company logo, they updated it early into the contemporary era thanks to the new dyes and materials made available. Saen Sharbes. This company is the only one of its kind to produce cattle-based cheeses within a permanent settlement. This is owed to the partnership the company has made with many nomadic tribes, where in exchange for their cattle milk they offer a lot of supplies. This company both creates cheeses in the traditional Saen fashion, using the Nomad Pots, but also makes some cattle-based cellar cheese as well, having multiple headquarters in small settlements to make interactions with nomadic tribes easier, while the freshly made cheese is then exported to the capital where it's sold for high prices. Salt Trading Company. While not a cheese-making company, they handle exporting a huge variety of local cheeses across most of the known world. They have good connections with the North Pearl Trading Company, known for good exchange of cheeses, allowing the Salt Trading Company to sell the cheeses of the northern world to Sembar's populace. And that will be it for the rather brief overview of the cheeses of the province. I initially intended for this video to be a broad overview of the culinary cuisines of the land. However, I found it better to dedicate a video to each aspect individually. So as we delve deep into Sembar's culinary world, exploring the intricate flavors of cheeses, stay tuned for dedicated videos on spices, alcohol, bread, alongside whatever else I manage to cook up. If you have any questions about the cheese, culinary practices, or any other aspects of my world, drop a comment below. I'll be glad to answer your queries. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to sharing more with you in the future. See you next time.